For nearly 3 centuries, a terrifying roar echoed across the coastlines of Europe, striking absolute panic into the hearts of kings, monks, and peasants alike. From the frozen, resource-poor fjords of Scandinavia emerged a maritime force so fiercely aggressive, technologically advanced, and tactically brilliant that they effectively rewrote the geopolitical map of the medieval world. The Vikings were far more than just bloodthirsty raiders wielding heavy iron axes. They were master shipbuilders, shrewd merchants, and daring explorers who built a global trade network stretching from the icy wilderness of North America to the gilded palaces of Baghdad. They took over the world by out-navigating, out-fighting, and out-adapting everyone in their path. Brace yourselves as we pull back the curtain on history's most explosive expansion and chart the epic story of how the Vikings conquered the globe. The catalyst of the Scandinavian forge. To understand how a scattered population of northern farmers and fishermen suddenly conquered the medieval world, you have to look closely at the harsh geography of their homeland. Scandinavia was a brutal environment of dense forests, jagged mountains, and incredibly thin, unyielding topsoil that made large-scale agriculture an agonizing struggle. As a severe population boom triggered fierce domestic land disputes and political instability at home, ambitious young chieftains were forced to look outward across the ocean for survival. They possessed a highly unique, deeply ingrained martial culture that viewed death in battle as the ultimate spiritual victory. Combined with an absolute desperate need for arable land, wealth, and global prestige, the northern furnace was perfectly primed to spill over its borders, unleashing an unstoppable human tidal wave onto a completely unsuspecting European continent. The engineering masterpiece of the longship. The true, unyielding backbone of the global Viking expansion was an absolute marvel of medieval engineering, the iconic Scandinavian longship. These vessels were crafted with overlapping wooden planks using a revolutionary clinker building technique, making the hulls incredibly flexible, lightweight, and resilient against the crushing waves of the open Atlantic. Crucially, their extraordinarily shallow drafts allowed them to navigate waters just 3 feet deep. This meant a Viking fleet could cross a stormy sea and seamlessly sail directly up shallow inland rivers, appearing out of nowhere in the heart of landlocked European territories. Equipped with both a massive square sail and rows of powerful oars, these sleek war machines granted the Norsemen unprecedented tactical mobility, turning every single river system in the Western Hemisphere into an open highway for surprise invasions. The dawn of terror at Lindisfarne. On a stormy summer morning in the year 793 AD, the terrifying reality of this new maritime threat violently announced itself to the Christian world. A fleet of sleek longships suddenly emerged from the gray horizon, landing directly on the holy island of Lindisfarne off the coast of northeast England. The raiders stormed the wealthy, unprotected monastery, mercilessly slaughtering the unarmed monks, desecrating the sacred altars, and plundering the church's immense treasures of gold, silver, and precious gems. This brutal, lightning-fast assault sent massive shockwaves of pure psychological terror across Europe. It was not just a simple robbery, it was a deeply traumatic cultural clash that shattered the perceived safety of Christendom, officially signaling the bloody dawn of the Viking Age and the start of an era of relentless coastal raiding. The Great Heathen Army and the Conquest of England. By the middle of the 9th century, the Norsemen evolved from executing quick, seasonal hit-and-run raids to launching massive, highly coordinated territorial conquests. In 865 AD, a colossal coalition of Scandinavian warriors, known historically as the Great Heathen Army, landed on the eastern shores of England. Led by the legendary, ruthlessly brilliant sons of Ragnar Lothbrok, this massive invasion force systematically dismantled the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms of Northumbria, East Anglia, and Mercia through brutal military campaigns. They captured the historic Roman city of York, converting it into a powerful, permanent Viking capital. The invaders completely transformed the English landscape, establishing a vast, autonomous territory known as the Danelaw, where Norse laws, agricultural practices, and language took permanent root, forever altering the genetic and cultural lineage of the British Isles. Siege architecture and the terror of the scene. The rich, heavily fortified kingdoms of continental Europe offered an irresistible target for the highly ambitious sea kings. Turning their longships south, massive Viking fleets targeted the wealthy heart of the Carolingian Empire, using the expansive network of the Seine and Loire rivers to bypass coastal defenses. In 845 AD, and again in a massive campaign in 885, thousands of Norse warriors laid catastrophic siege to the city of Paris. They constructed heavy siege towers, launched relentless amphibious assaults, and successfully paralyzed the West Frankish kingdom. Unable to defeat the invaders militarily, the desperate Frankish kings resorted to paying astronomical sums of silver and gold, known as Danegeld, simply to buy a temporary peace, exposing the profound structural vulnerability of the European feudal system. From raiders to rulers in Normandy, the relentless geopolitical pressure exerted by the Norsemen eventually forced European monarchs to abandon traditional warfare and try a radical, highly cooperative diplomatic approach. In 911 AD, the West Frankish king Charles the Simple signed a historic treaty with a towering, fiercely intelligent Viking warlord named Rollo. In exchange for converting to Christianity and swearing a sacred oath to protect the River Seine from future Scandinavian raiders, Rollo was granted absolute sovereign lordship over a vast, fertile territory in northern France. This land became known permanently as Normandy, the land of the Northmen. Rollo's fierce descendants seamlessly blended their raw Scandinavian military prowess with French feudal cavalry tactics. Just over a century later, Rollo's direct great-great-great-grandson, William the Conqueror, would successfully invade England, cementing their lineage as the absolute rulers of Europe. Stepping stones across the North Atlantic. While some Viking factions fought bloody wars for the crowded kingdoms of Europe, a distinctly different breed of Norse explorers looked toward the vast, terrifying emptiness of the North Atlantic Ocean. Sailing completely blind into uncharted freezing waters without magnetic compasses, these daring navigators utilized sunstones and deep maritime intuition to discover entirely new worlds. They discovered and rapidly colonized the volcanic landscapes of Iceland in the late 9th century, establishing the world's oldest surviving parliament. From there, the fiercely independent explorer Eric the Red pushed even further west into the icy mists, establishing permanent, resilient farming colonies on the rugged shores of Greenland. These isolated, windswept settlements served as vital stepping stones for an even grander maritime achievement that would completely rewrite human history. Vinland and the first European contact in America. Nearly 5 full centuries before Christopher Columbus ever set sail from Spain, a visionary Viking navigator named Leif Erikson accomplished the absolute unthinkable. Around the year 1000 AD, Ericsson guided his wooden longship across the treacherous Labrador Sea, discovering a fertile, forested new land he colorfully named Vinland. The Norsemen established a functional settlement at Lance Oaks Meadows, located on the northernmost tip of modern Newfoundland, Canada. Here, they built sturdy timber longhouses, smelted local iron, and actively explored the surrounding American wilderness. Though fierce, violent clashes with the indigenous populations and extreme geographical isolation eventually forced the Norsemen to abandon their American outpost, this incredible feat stands as the absolute pinnacle of Viking maritime exploration, the literal bridging of the Atlantic Ocean. The Varangians and the Gilded Trade of the East. While the Western Vikings conquered the Atlantic, Swedish Norsemen, known historically as the Rus, launched an equally spectacular expansion eastward into the dense forests of Eurasia. Rowing their longships down the massive Dnieper and Volga river systems, they established powerful, highly prosperous fortified trading states centered around the historic hubs of Kiev and Novgorod, effectively founding the structural roots of modern Russia. These Eastern Vikings pushed all the way to the Caspian and Black Seas, opening up immense, highly lucrative trade routes with the wealthy Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad. Their legendary military ferocity was so deeply respected that the Byzantine emperor in Constantinople hired them as his personal, elite imperial bodyguard, known as the elite Varangian Guard, surrounding himself with giant, axe-wielding northern warriors. The immortal blueprint of the global north. The physical empire of the longships eventually faded into ancient myth, but the bold, adventurous spirit of the Viking expansion remains permanently woven into the DNA of the modern world. The incredible globe-spanning expansion of the Vikings proves that absolute adaptability, peerless engineering, and unyielding human courage can completely alter the course of human history. From a collection of impoverished hillside settlements, these northern warriors forged a legacy that connected continents and fundamentally reshaped the medieval world. The era of the longship has passed, but their names and stories remain completely immortal. If this cinematic, animated documentary dive into the true global conquest of the Vikings kept you completely locked to your screen until the very last sentence, make sure to slam that subscribe button, smash the like icon, and drop a comment below sharing your favorite Viking achievement. Keep your eyes on the horizon, stay brave, and thanks for watching.